Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday evening. Preseason is just about all in the books. Oh my God. Well, it is for everybody in the NFC East. And now it is time to get ready to make final roster cuts and prepare for Tampa Bay. Some of you guys will know because I was literally doing videos all hours of the day and night last night because I've been talking about Tampa Bay's game, the matchup, not just the matchup between the teams, but the matchup of the food and figuring out what we were going to do. And so one of the things we do here at Jobu Sports at game day, when you come on over, you're going to get fed. You come here hungry, you will get fed. And the great news is chicken wings price is cheaper than it's been in a long time, $1.49 a pound. So we're going to have lots of chicken wings. We might even do not just regular Jobu wings. We might do some jerk wings. Yeah, nice and spicy ones. But figuring out the menu for that first game, I know my man Brian Green's going to be here and stuff. Like I said, we were looking at things that Tampa Bay is famous for, and I can't do the seafood. That's way too much money. But a Cuban sandwich. Remember last year, whenever we got the big sub, it was undefeated. Yeah. Unfortunately, towards the end of the season, I couldn't get any more of the big subs. I got to find those big sub rolls. But last night, I started at 6 o'clock, smoking the smoker. First time I've used a smoker in months. And I needed some barbecue, some pulled pork, so that way I can make a Cuban sandwich. And it took 20 hours to get that pulled pork. But, man, I got to show you something. I did some Cuban sandwich. Oh, man. You got the pickles. You got the Swiss cheese. You got the ham. You got the pulled pork. And you got my sauce, which is a mayonnaise mustard with a little smoked paprika and cayenne pepper, so it's got a kick. And listen to this crunch. Did you hear that crunch? Yeah. We're going to do a 3-foot long. And I tried this with regular just pulled pork with just a little bit of vinegar on it. And then I did it with Jobu's pulled pork. The ones with Jobu's pulled pork. I've been thinking about that for a couple of weeks. I have waited because I started cooking that pork last night at 6 o'clock. It's 7:30. That's 25 and a half hours. I have waited and worked on having that bite right there that you just witnessed. Patience is a virtue. And we've waited 26 years since our last Super Bowl. We have waited, how many years has Tom Brady been in the league? Seems like 26 years to beat that guy. And I'm going to say, you're telling me there's a chance. Well, here's the thing. We feel bad about Tyron Smith going down and being lost for pretty much probably the whole season. We act like we're the only team that has had devastating injuries. If you take the New York Giants, dudes, they got more. I mean, they have lost probably more players than they have active on the roster right now. But another team that's been hit hard with the injury bug has been Tampa Bay. First of all, Tampa Bay's Pro Bowl guard went on to Cincinnati, signed a big fat contract. Then their starting center tore his ACL in a horrific accident. Then they lost their starting guard. Last week, it was Tristan Wirtz who ended up straining his oblique muscle. That's the left tackle. So when you think about all that, that means 4 of the offensive linemen are gone from last year. 3 of which, well, okay, Wirtz, they said they think he'll be back. They think he'll be back, but it's a strange oblique, which is usually a 4 to 6 week injury. So he may be back, but he's going to be nicked. last night, and one of those reasons why you don't want to play your starters in preseason. So here it is from the Bucks Wire. This is the backup center placing the starting center. Robert Hensley's injury from the Colts preseason game isn't considered serious. Okay. And there is optimism he'll be ready for week 1 against the Cowboys to open the season. There's hope. There's no guarantee. So if he's not ready, that means they're going to their third string center. Okay. Then, hold on. Let me go back some more. Then, Buccaneers center/guard. So he's a swing guard center. Nick Levert sustained an AC joint injury in his shoulder. AC joint, that's in here. Okay. With x-rays determining it's not considered a long-term injury and could be managed going forward per league sources, which means we can shoot it up with painkillers and let it rip. We can put a harness on there and let him go. With the pain meds, you won't feel it when you're working. But that doesn't mean that you don't lose the strength and you don't atrophy. And when you have the harness and stuff on there, that also limits you. Okay? Tampa Bay's offensive line. And contrary to what people will tell you that I am celebrating, I am not celebrating, I am not cheering on. I don't want people to get hurt because football is a nasty business. Football is dangerous. Football screws up players for life. And when you hear about somebody like Wes Welker, a guy who's got almost 10,000 yards in receiving and played in the NFL, well, basically he's been in the NFL because he's still coaching, I think, in Miami now. He's only 41 years old, who has a multitude of surgeries. And when the NFL, he applied for disability, they kicked it back, denied, because they said, well, there's no evidence that the surgeries you had were because of football. Oh, yeah, the ACL reconstruction I had was because, I was cutting the grass and I tore my ACL. Football didn't have anything to do with it. I don't want guys to be maimed. I'm pointing out that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who just got Tom Brady back, and Tom Brady says, of course, I pick up right where I left off, and the reason I needed to be gone was I'm 45 years old and I have shit to do. I thought it used to be that the only shit that you cared about doing was football. But that's cool. I'm okay with that. So, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line is going to be weakened from where they've been. Tampa Bay will have Julio Jones out there as a wide receiver who has had 700 yards over the last 2 years and has had a problem staying healthy. Instead of having Gronk, unless Gronk unretires in the next 2 weeks, we'll have Kyle Rudolph, who is not Gronk, in there. Chris Godwin, there's hope that he could play week 1, like there's hope that Michael Gallup could, but probably won't. There's still Mike Evans. But they are clearly, and there's not Antonio Brown, who lit up Anthony Brown. That team's offense is definitely taking a step back, as has the Cowboys. Tampa Bay's defense and their head coach, who's a defensive-minded guy, is going to be real good. The Dallas Cowboys defense, which now their strength is going against Tampa Bay's weakness, going after the one weakness of Tom Brady, which is he does not like pressure in his face. Cowboys have a chance in this game. They probably won't be favored at home, I'm sure, because it's Tom Brady, just because it is Tom Brady. But as time goes on here, we'll see how the offensive line, if they're going to be ready, and what shape they'll be in. But you've got to feel a little bit better for the Cowboys going to this game if the offensive line of Tampa Bay is lacking. Anyway, I've got this delicious Cuban sandwich I got to finish. Boy, 2 weeks from now, we will be doing the pregame for that game. I'm Mark Holmes, and have a good night.